looks like the best ChemLawn job you could imagine. So that's a major concern for us. But unfortunately, it's not something that we can impact ourselves, other than take note of it and pass that on to you folks. That's our biggie, as they say.
There's always support needed at town meeting.
There you go.
For nitrogen reducing, and you know, perfect example of someone that is impacted directly and sees the results of you know, what happens with the different levels. And I'm sure that you've seen a change over the years.
Yeah, we certainly have, and we've pointed that out at a number of Conservation Commission hearings over the years, when you know, when house lots have been permitted in our area that in our opinion would contribute to the problem. So we have voiced our concern at public hearings in the past. But in any case, that's the situation as it is, and we just hope it doesn't continue to get worse. Other than, you know, taking the air out of the tires on the ChemLawn truck, I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, with the build out of a lot of the waterfront areas over the past 10 years, you see a lot of influx of very, very nice homes being built along the water, but you're also seeing a huge influx of plush green lawns right to the water, which is huge.
Did you wanted to speak?
Well, I was going to say, and not to mention all the runoff from septic and the runoff from the cranberries from north, I guess, coming down.
There's no one single source that can be pointed to be a major or the most prevalent contributor to the problem. I realize that it's a combination of numerous sources. It's something that we are going to have to deal with as not just us as shellfish grant holders, but you know, we have to see it as a concern for all of us, because it impacts us all. If our public beaches start turning green in the summer, everybody's eyebrows are going to go up, and we're really going to have a situation.
Yeah, we're seeing the water temperature stay warm too a lot longer than the past couple of years. Boy, we've had some outstanding summer weather, and the water temperature's risen very quickly in June, and then it stays high right in through at least the third week of September. We've seen some large red algae type blooms, which is a little different than his green algae, which we've had for about 6 years in the Wareham River because of the warm water temperatures, and that algae bloom is spread out throughout Buzzards Bay now, and it takes a lot of CO2 out of the water column, and it's been a recurring algae bloom. And I'm sorry I can't pronounce the name of it. It's a name about this long that only a marine biologist can explain. But we've had a lot of calls because people think it's red tide, when actually it's not red tide, because red tide does not show up red.
Well, and I think also with the temperatures, I was, you know, that has to do with the algae. But I would say, I know with the nitrogen, we're anticipating that report from UMass Dartmouth, the Massachusetts Estuary Project, that report, and I've seen the draft copy, and it's showing that our waters are impaired 50% over the maximum capacity of nitrogen. And I know that, you know, this board has set an aggressive stance on getting all of the areas sewered that are along the coastlines, but as we're trying again this year at town meeting, is to get a nitrogen-reducing septic system bylaw passed for all new development so that it will not be contributing any worse to the problem, so that it will
That
actually...
would certainly be a step in the right direction.
So we'll see you there at 7 o'clock on Monday. Thank you.
Selectman Donahue?
I just wondered, I've had a couple of calls recently with regard to people shellfishing on grants. Have you experienced any of those problems? Have you had?
I think we've been very fortunate. Because we're down on the grant pretty much 7 days a week, and so we haven't personally had to deal with any volunteer help.
Volunteer help. Help yourself.
But I do know that one of the other grants in the Cove, or the other grant I should say in the Cove, has had some difficulty this summer, and I think part of that is due to the fact that that particular grant borders the shoreline, whereas our grant is buffered, and number 83 actually has no shoreline access, if you will. To get to grant 83, you have to have a boat, and there are a number of renters down there in the summer, and I think that the problem might be people just assuming that, gee, I'm right here and the cohogs are right there, and it's pretty easy. So no, to sum it up, we have not had that difficulty, and we're very, very happy that things have been pretty good in that regard.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the board?
Yeah, just briefly. I'm very happy to hear that you're having success with your operation. Obviously, commercial shellfishing and recreational shellfishing, commercial and recreational boating, the recreational use of our beaches, the value of individual real estate values is all, in a coastal community, is all tied to the health of our waterways. And I know that nitrogen is a particular devastating issue for us, potentially, in the future. And so it isn't just a passing issue, nor is it just a minor warrant article that'll be before us. It's a very important warrant article because it allows us to start taking some local control and initiative of the issue. And you're right, there are numerous contributors. The septic is just one. But we are trying to mitigate that with sewering 12 neighborhoods. But ChemLawns is another. Agriculture with the heavy uses of nitrogen fertilizer in the cranberry bogs, and as well as all that activity in those communities where that water and the affluent comes in our general direction. So I hope everybody will come to our town meeting and give that warrant article a lot of consideration and think about the future of this community. Because if people don't want to vacation here or buy second summer homes here or stay here as a result of the degradation of our beaches and waterways, then we've just shot ourselves in the foot irreparably, because that is, after all, our greatest asset as a community. And I know you have your reasons as a commercial enterprise, but all of those issues are irreparably committed together. And so I hope everybody will support and give that a great deal of consideration before they vote for that warrant article.